Good morning, children, and my dear friends. A very good afternoon to all of you. Right. I just wanted to ask you one question. I hope to have a healthy and what we call a trained brain. Okay, to get a healthy brain. Okay, which works in a smart way. Okay, we all get used to eat walnuts, isn't it? Right? So suppose if you were given a walnut, how do you break walnuts? Okay, most of us will keep eating nuts for uh, best working of brain, isn't it? They are brain foods. Okay, they are rich source of omega-3 fatty acids, and your brain functioning will happen very nicely if you eat such kind of nuts. So all are suggested to eat such kind of nuts. Okay, so to break a walnut, did you make an attempt to break a walnut anytime? Okay, to break a walnut, we need to have a flat surface and we need to have a hammer or something like that, a tool we require, okay, to break such kind of nuts. Okay, but you know, there is an animal called otter. Otter will use its chest, okay, to break open the nuts. It uses its chest as a flat surface and as a flat stone to break open the nuts. Okay, such a smart technique is there with that animal otter. Okay, so that's why I always say to you, okay, learn something, one or the other, from animals which are there in and around our surroundings. Okay, they teach us lot many things. Okay, so animals are our best teachers also. Okay, I am also your teacher, and you people will start comparing me with an animal now. Nowadays children are like that only, I understand. Okay, whatever it may be. So today we are going to learn about what? Variable valency, the concept of variable valency. Okay, so this is our topic for today, right? Okay, please give me in a comment section that if I write on both sides of the board, is it comfortable to you? I hope it is comfortable, so that I can cover up large area of my board, as well as maximum information can be covered. If I divide and write, it will be good, I hope. Okay, please give me your comments. Okay, right. Now let us go into the topic, variable valency of elements. Variable valency. Okay, variable valency of elements. So this is our topic for today. So if an element is going to exhibit more than one valency in a compound, okay, then you call that as what? Variable valency. If an element, same element, but exhibits different valencies in different compounds, okay, so then the element is said to possess variable valencies. Okay, so what is a definition for variable valency? If an element, okay, if an element is going to exhibit, if an element is going to exhibit more than one valency, is going to exhibit more than one valency, then it is called as what? More than one valency, then it is called variable valency. Then it is called variable valency. Okay, so this is the definition for variable valency. Okay, we'll see one or two examples. Okay, we'll be seeing some of the examples of the elements which exhibits variable valency in metals, okay, as well as in non-metals also. Okay, so let us see. Okay, suppose if you take the example of iron. Okay, iron, the symbol is Fe, ferrum. Okay, iron exhibits variable valencies in different compounds. Like iron can form compounds like FeCl2 can form, FeCl3 also it can form. Okay, this is called as what? Ferrous chloride. FeCl2 is called as what? Ferrous chloride. and the same iron can even form ferric chloride. Okay, ferrous chloride and ferric chloride. Both the compounds can be formed by what? Iron only. Okay, so here if you take this FeCl2, ferrous chloride. Okay, in ferrous chloride, valency of iron is equal to 2, because number of chlorines are how many? 2. Okay, we have learned according to the modern definition. Once you just recall. Okay, according to modern definition of valency, what we have learned? The number of hydrogens or the number of chlorines or double the number of oxygen atoms will gives you valency of the other element. Okay, we have learned this definition. If you haven't watched my previous video, you can just go through that video so that you will come to know how to identify valency for metals and valency for non-metals. It was explained with examples in the previous video. Okay, so FeCl2, iron is showing valency 2. Okay, so whichever element, if it is showing lesser valency in a compound and more valency in another compound, okay, same element is exhibiting two different valencies. Okay, the compound in which the same element is exhibiting lesser valency, you will be given the suffix "us." That means it is ferrous chloride. Okay, ferrous chloride. It is exhibiting valency 2. Okay, if you go for FeCl3, okay, valency of iron is how much? Valency of Fe is equal to 3. Okay, then it is treated as what? Ferric chloride. Okay, so in whichever compound the same element is exhibiting higher valency, you will give the suffix "ic." Okay, if it is showing lesser valency, it will be given the suffix "us." Okay, please remember like this. Less valency suffix is "us." Okay, the compounds in which the element is exhibiting less valency, the suffix is given what? "us." Less "us." Please remember. Okay, suppose the same element is exhibiting higher valency in another compound. Okay, the same element is exhibiting what? Higher valency in another compound. Then the suffix given to that compound is "ic." Okay, so this is ferrous chloride and this is ferric chloride. Okay, so based on that, you will be identifying the names of the compounds also according to what? Variable valency exhibited by the same element. Okay, so now let us see variable valencies exhibited by metals. Okay, so first we will learn how variable valencies are being exhibited by metals, and then we will see the examples where variable valencies are being exhibited by non-metals also. Okay, so let us see the examples for variable valencies in metals. So keep side heading variable valencies in metals. Okay, variable valencies in metals. So in metals, what are the variable valencies? Suppose if you take copper. Okay, copper can exhibit two valencies. One is 1 and 2. Okay, two valencies. So you can find two different compounds like CuCl2 and Cu2Cl2. Okay, CuCl2, here valency is 2. Valency of copper is 2. Two chlorines are there. So valency of copper is 2. And here valency of copper is 1 only. Okay, valency of copper is 1 only. For two coppers, valency is 2. Number of chlorines are how many? 2 are there. Okay, according to the modern definition, please recall the modern definition of valency. Okay, here two chlorines are there. So 2 will be the valency of two coppers. So for one copper, valency will be 1 only. Okay, valency of copper is 1 only in this case. So this compound is called as what? Cupric chloride. More valency, "ic." Suffix is "ic." Cupric chloride. And this is called as what? Cuprous chloride. Okay, cuprous chloride. Lesser valency, suffix is "us." Okay, next we'll go for second example, that is suppose if you take the example of silver. Silver also exhibits valencies 1 and 2. Okay, silver, argentum, you all know that. Silver also exhibits valencies 1 and 2. AgCl and AgCl2. Okay, this is what? Argent as chloride. This is argent-ic chloride. Here valency of silver is 1. Valency of Ag is 1. Okay, here valency of Ag is 2. Okay, so it is what? Argentous chloride, and this is argent-ic chloride. Okay, OUS, suffix is OUS, here suffix is ic, IC. Okay, so please remember these points carefully. As is for less valency and ic is for more valency. Okay, right. So some more examples. Iron I already told you, 2 and 3. Okay, iron is the example for metals in which it is exhibiting what? Variable valencies. Okay, next mercury also, gold also, tin also. Okay, mercury, mercurous chloride, mercuric chloride. Okay, gold also. Gold exhibits valencies 1 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 3. Mercury exhibits 1 and 2. Okay, mercury exhibits valencies 1 and 2. Okay, and gold exhibits valencies 1 and 3. Okay, same like copper. Okay, example 3, mercury, Hg, exhibits valencies 1 and 2. Okay, like it can exhibit a compound like Hg2Cl2 and HgCl2. Here valency of mercury is how much? 1 only. Valency of Hg is equal to 1. Here valency of Hg is 2. Okay, so it is called as what? Mercurous chloride. Okay, valency is 1, mercurous chloride, and where valency is 2, you call it as what? Mercuric chloride. Mercuric chloride. Okay, less valency As, more valency ic. Please remember. Okay, if you take gold, gold is what? Au, exhibits 2 valencies 1 and 3. Please remember. Okay, same like this, AuCl and AuCl3. Okay, so gold, auric chloride, this is aurous chloride or ic chloride. Here valency of gold is how much? Valency of Au is 1 only. Here valency of Au is 3. Okay, valency of Au is 3. Au means what? Gold, aurum, aurous chloride, and this is auric chloride. Okay, now aurous chloride, and this is what? Auric chloride. Okay, so same like that you can even see tin. Yes, tin. Tin can exhibit valency what we call 2 and 4. Stannum, tin, Sn. Okay, stannum, tin, 2 and 4. It exhibits valencies what? 2 and 4. Okay, SnCl2, SnCl4. Okay, here valency of tin is 2. Valency of tin, Sn, is what? 2. Here valency of tin is 4. Okay, here valency of tin is 4. So this is called as what? Stannous chloride. Stannous chloride. And this is called as stannic chloride. Okay, now. So less valency, if it is there in a compound, you will be given the name, you will be given the suffix as. Whereas more valency, if it is there, you will be given the suffix ic. Okay, so this is about the examples for valencies of variable valencies exhibited by metals. Okay, mostly D block elements. Okay, now D block elements also will exhibit variable valencies. Okay, and now we'll see variable valencies in case of non-metals. Okay, variable valencies in non-metals. We'll see 2 examples. Okay, so variable valencies in non-metals is mainly because of the availability of vacant d orbitals. Okay, if vacant d orbitals availability, if it is there, then there is a chance for the excitation of electrons from one orbital to the vacant orbital which is available. If electron jumps to vacant orbital, available vacant orbital, then accordingly valencies can be exhibited by that particular non-metallic elements. Okay, so here we'll learn about what? Variable valencies in non-metals. Okay, So in case of non-metals, okay, variable valencies can be exhibited because of the what? Availability of vacant d orbitals. Because of what? Excitation of electrons from p subshell to vacant d orbitals. Okay, variable valencies. This is very important point. Variable valencies in case of non-metals is exhibited due to what? In case of non-metals is due to the excitation of electrons. Okay, now due to the excitation of electrons from p subshell. Okay, from p subshell to vacant d subshell. Okay, there is an excitation of electrons. Okay, now excited state. Electrons wherever vacant orbitals, if they are available, then electrons can be excited from p subshell to what? D subshell, available subshells. Okay, like how children keep changing their places. If vacant benches are available, okay, children keep changing their places. Okay, they wanted to sit in different places, or else altogether being their friends, they may sit even like that also. Okay, same like that here also, because of excitation of electrons from p subshell to d subshell. Okay, the variable valencies are exhibited by non-metals. Okay, we'll see examples for non-metals. Phosphorus can exhibit two valencies, 3 and 5. Similarly, sulfur can exhibit 3 valencies, 2, 4 and 6. Okay, so how it is possible? Let us see with electronic configuration. Okay, so phosphorus atomic number is what? 15. You all know phosphorus atomic number is 15. Okay, and electronic configuration is how much? Phosphorus P 15. Okay, electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. So these are the last orbit, third orbit. 3s2, 3p3 is the last orbit. Okay, so 3s2, 3p3 is being filled with 5 electrons, and 3d is totally 0 only, no? Okay, if you consider the box method of writing electronic configuration for 3s and 3d, 3s is filled with 2 electrons and 3p is filled with 3 electrons. Okay, 3p is filled with what? 3 electrons. You all know that whenever degenerate orbitals are filled, the electrons has to be filled singly first, according to Hund's rule. Okay, so you all are in a position to understand the rule, I hope. Okay, when you are filling the orbitals, p orbitals, I mean each box, when they are to be filled, each box is to be filled with one electron each, then only it should get paired up. This is according to which rule? Hund's rule. Okay, so these 3 electrons single we have to fill them. Okay, now you are finding how many unpaired electrons in that 3p subshell. You are finding 3 unpaired electrons. Look at the box method of writing electronic configuration. You are finding 3 unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons are how many? 3. Okay, so valency of phosphorus can be 3. Okay, and here 3d 0 means d orbital is totally empty. You all know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? D orbital is totally empty. 3d 0. So without any excitation, if you find, you are finding 3 unpaired electrons. So the valency of phosphorus can be 3. Now after excitation, this is what? Before excitation. Okay, before excitation. Before excitation means when they are in their ground state. Okay, now after excitation, what happens? After excitation, okay, the electron which is present in 3s will jump from 3s to 3d. Okay, here paired electrons you are finding. Okay, they wanted to jump. One of the electron will jump from 3s to 3d. Okay, after excitation, you will find 3s will be having only one electron. Okay, 3s will be having only one electron, and now 3p as usual, they'll be having 3 electrons in each box. Okay, and 3d also will be filled with 1 electron. Okay, right? So now how many unpaired electrons you are finding? Check out. You are finding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are finding 5 unpaired electrons. Okay, the number of unpaired electrons present in the last orbit of any atom gives you the valency of that element also. Okay, now after excitation, there is a chance for same phosphorus to exhibit what? Valency of 5 also. Okay, now number of unpaired electrons. Okay, number of unpaired electrons are 5. Okay, number of unpaired electrons are 5. So, valency of phosphorus can be, therefore, okay, valency can be 5 also. Okay, very important point. Okay, so like this, you have to identify excitation of, variable valencies in case of non-metals is due to what? Excitation of electrons from one orbital to the vacant d orbital. Okay, you can take even the example of what? Sulfur also. Sulfur, what is the atomic number for sulfur? 16. Okay, 16. Atomic number for sulfur is what? 16. Okay, so its configuration is what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. So in the last orbit, you are finding 3s and 3p is filled and 3d is 0. Okay, so 3s we are representing with one box and 2 electrons are there, and 3p, okay, 3p 4 electrons. So 1, 1, 1 in each box, and then it should be paired up. Okay, so 3p. This is what? 3p. And 3d is totally empty. Okay, 3d is totally empty. Okay, now one electron, this is what? Ground state. This is what? Ground state. Please understand carefully. Okay, in ground state you are finding how many unpaired electrons? Number of unpaired electrons. Okay, number of unpaired electrons are 2. Therefore, valency of sulfur in ground state is 2. Valency of sulfur in ground state. This is very important point, dear children. You have to understand carefully. In ground state is equal to what? 2. Okay. The same thing. Suppose here vacant orbitals are available. So, one electron jumps from 3s to 3d. Then it will become what? First excited state. Okay. In first excited state, how many unpaired electrons are there? That we have to find out. Okay. So, I hope all of you are understanding it better. Okay. Please keep giving comments to me so that I can understand whether you are following properly or not. Okay. So, don't forget to give comments. Right. So, now in the first excited state. Okay. First excited state. Okay. You will find one electron is jumping from 3s to 3d. Okay. So, 3s will have only one electron and 3p is as usual with 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, one electron from 3s to 3d it has gone. One electron has gone from 3s to 3d. Okay. So, that becomes what? First excited state. Now, how many unpaired electrons you are finding? Now, you are finding 4 unpaired electrons. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 unpaired electrons. So, number of electrons, unpaired electrons in first excited state of sulfur. Okay, number of unpaired electrons in first excited state. Okay, now in first excited state of sulfur. In first excited state of sulfur is equal to 4. Therefore, valency of sulfur can be 4. Valency of sulfur can be 4. Okay. Same like that if you go for the second excited state. Okay, second excited state. So what happens in the second excited state? Okay, one more electron which is there in 3p. Okay, this will jump from here to here. Okay, so that becomes what? Second excited state. Okay, that will become second excited state. 1, 2, 3, and here you will be finding 2 more electrons in d subshell. Okay, 3p and 3d. This is what? 3p and this is 3d. Here one electron, here one electron you will find. Now how many unpaired electrons you are finding? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unpaired electrons you are finding. So the valency of sulfur can be 6 also. Okay, number of unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons in second excited state of sulfur. In second excited state of sulfur is equal to 6. Therefore, valency of sulfur can be 6 also. Okay, please underline these points carefully. Okay, valency of sulfur in ground state is 2. Valency of sulfur in first excited state is 4. And valency of sulfur in second excited state is, therefore valency of sulfur can be 6 also. Okay, so sulfur is exhibiting totally 3 valencies, 2 also, 4 also, 6 also. Okay, sulfur is exhibiting 3 types of valencies, 2, 4 and 6. Okay, so same element is exhibiting different valencies because of what? Excitation of electrons from one orbital to the vacant d orbital. Okay, so this is the main reason for exhibition of variable valencies in case of metals and non-metals. Okay, I hope you all of you have understood the concepts very clearly. Okay, I request all of you to please keep writing running notes. Okay, write and practice, make a notes on your own. Pause the video if you want to note down. Please pause the video. Okay, and note down each and every concept. Okay, this much only is there regarding variable valencies of elements. Okay, thanks dear children. Please watch my videos and kindly subscribe to my channel. Okay, your hard work is your superpower. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.